People who don't ever want to have kids, why? Being a parent is too important to do a shit job at it. If you can't give it the energy it requires, don't sign up for it. 0 desire. The thought of having to teach them how to eat, talk, potty train them, etc., 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 etc. Nah. It isn't for me. God bless everyone who does have them. But nope. Not for me. I can't even care for a houseplant. Almost all of women in my family have had hemorrhages, miscarriages, premature births. You name it. I almost killed my mum coming out of the womb, and then I myself almost died because of liver disease in the months that followed. I'm not risking myself like that. Well, I can't think of any reason to have them. I'd rather not take a chance on passing on whatever the hell is going on in my head. They are sticky and they scream. Never wanted them. Being pregnant sounds like a nightmare. As does my entire life revolving around someone else 24/7. Some people with kids never stopped and asked themselves this question. I was the third of 7 children. We were raised in our mother's in-home daycare. I knew by the time I was 13 that I'd never have kids. I am now 60 and still child-free. P.S. Yes. This stance did end more than one relationship. I like to sleep in on weekends. Bad genes. Too much responsibilities. I can't even take care of my own ass. Quite simply, it doesn't appeal to me. No regrets. Honestly. From as young as I can remember, I just knew. I was never interested. My mum would talk about when you are a mum, and I was always saying I don't want kids. She would talk about how amazing it is to be a mum and how happy she is that she had me. I thank her every time she says that. Even after I grew up and had relationships where my partner expected us to marry and have kids, it was a no. Mum, Dad and his parents were all, "You'll change your mind as soon as you hold your baby." It was still a hard no. It was simply never something I wanted. I ended relationships with some amazing men who were happy about my no kids stance at the start, who have gone on to find partners and now are happy in their relationships and who have kids. I'm happy for them. It was simply never a thing for me. The more people tried to coerce me into having kids, the harder I fought. No, I'm not a lesbian. No, there is nothing wrong with me. No, I don't want to have kids to look after me when I'm old. Really. There were lots of fights. Questions of why? What's wrong with me? I'm too old to have kids now. And I'm glad I never caved to the pressure. There are many people who are happy. Maybe with a mixed family and it works for them. I'm happy for them. I have never been anti-kid. It was never a financial, lifestyle choice for me. It was always simply, no. I was abused as a kid and I don't think I'd be a very good parent. Too much responsibility. I also really love my freedom. Got the mental illness. I need quiet and routine and also space. Also, my sibling has kids, so I will just spoil the shit out of them instead, rolling on the floor laughing. Personally, I just enjoy the freedom of not having them too much. You can't miss what you never had. I absolutely love my life just as it is. Plus, I am of the opinion that you should really want kids before you have them. It's a lifetime commitment. After all. Don't like sharing my guac avocado. This curse ends with me. I don't like being alive enough to put someone in the same situation. I absolutely love peace and quiet. I don't wanna go through a pregnancy. That shit is horrifying. Edit. It's honestly really nice and reassuring seeing so many have the same thoughts and feelings on this subject. It's easy to let others make you feel wrong for not wanting to procreate. Nothing about parenting sounds appealing. I also have gone through so many depressive episodes in life, and when I think about bringing another person into this world against their will, I just think about all the senseless suffering they will endure, because life is honestly just not that great for everyone. Maybe they'll be happy and enjoy it, but I'll feel guilty as hell if they have any of the mental health issues I have. No desire. In a perfect world, every child would be loved and cared for. There are too many bad parents who are cruel to their children. Rather, the question should be people who aren't supportive of sex education, which would reduce unwanted children and child abuse. Why? Quote, "A severe phobia of pregnancy, and I dislike children. I prefer to have more time for my own hobbies. I'm 40 and married for 19 years. Wife doesn't want kids because she thinks this world is too fucked up for them. I agree. I'm happy as things are. I enjoy my personal time." Google, how much does raising a child cost on average? This is why. Very plain and stupid reason. I don't want them. I believe that having kids should be something you actually want for your life. Something you look for. The idea of being a parent should be something that is exciting to you and that kindles joy. It's not my case. I say that I never received the calling. There is not a single tiny piece of my being that wants to have kids or wants to become a father. I never could conceive my life as a father, and there was never any strong doubt. When you're in your late teens, and people sometimes ask you if you want to have kids, you usually have the answer from teenagers, "Oh no. No kids for me, at least not yet. Not before 10 years or so." There was never a "not yet" for me. It was always a "no. It is not going to happen." The state of the world fills me with despair for anyone who comes after me. Plus, being a teacher means I hear about all the shit that kids have to deal with these days, both from adults and from other kids. And I don't want to subject someone else to that. The pressure of social media, the exposure to overtly sexual content at a young age, having your every move and/or mistake filmed and put online without you even knowing or having any control over it. I worry enough about my wife being safe, let alone any future kids. For the record, I also like being able to do what I want, when I want. I'm too selfish for kids, because when they are teenagers they will get on Reddit and ask questions that completely undermine every decision you have made. Why should I? If someone needs a reason to not have kids, then there should also be a reason to have kids. I can't think of one good reason why I should. So I didn't. Two main reasons: I hate kids, and I would be a horrible parent. I don't ever want to be pregnant. The fact that I'm even capable of something like that horrifies me to the extreme. Huge pathological fear, and while I think adoption is a wonderful thing, I don't really see myself as ending up responsible and stable enough to be a good adoptive parent. I like my life how it is. The sound kids make triggers an unreasonable level of aggression in me. I can't stand them. Bringing a child into existence means making a bet for him. He might have any kind of life from awesome to horrible. A person that does not exist cannot feel sorry for missing the good outcome. So it's kind of a lame bet. On the other hand, adopting a child means you will most probably improve his/her life. Based on this, is there a non-selfish reason for making one instead of adopting? I'm just not maternal, which is just as well, because there's no way I could afford it currently. Medical reasons. I carry the sickle cell trait and was told any child I had would possibly develop sickle cell anemia. It's a very painful disease, so I knocked out. Plus I'm single and enjoy my independence. I have a niece. I can enjoy and spoil her without having one of my own. I have zero desire to have a kid. No biological, parental or any sort of yearning. I don't want the responsibilities. I like the idea of having more money for what interests me, like the freedom of being able to choose what I want to do when I want. To their grosser kid is a permanent sinkhole of money, time and effort. I don't have the mental capacity to deal with the stress a child brings. I'm barely emotionally stable enough to take care of myself, let alone a human child who needs much more care and attention, which, honestly, I can't give it. I refuse to ever give birth. And all other options are expensive. Pets are enough responsibility for me. I'm not super optimistic for the path mankind is traversing, and it doesn't feel right to subject a new life to that BS. Also, I'm having too much fun as a dink. Dual income. No kids. My wife and I have an amazing life together. Not to sound selfish, but neither of us want to bring something into the world that will take away from our time together. Pets are as close as we are getting to having kids. I have two wonderful, well-behaved, comparatively intelligent children. At least once a week since they were born. I wish I had never had children. They are a fuck ton of work, financial drain, and emotional drain. I am constantly worried about raising a fucktard and providing financially and emotionally for them. Hats off to those of you who have the chutzpah to recognize that you don't have the bandwidth for kids. I made this choice at about the age of 7. I was 1 in 3. The middle child. I guess I could see on TV how many kids were not being taken care of, and I didn't want to bring another kid into this world. More like help out with the ones we already have. Sadly, a large part of all our societies want to keep kids on the bottom and take advantage instead of improving quality of life. Gestures broadly at everything. I enjoy order, peace, quiet, having disposable income, and doing fun things and going fun places with my wife. None of that is compatible with being a good parent. A few reasons. I don't want to end the couple's lifestyle that I enjoy. Meals for two, adults only holidays, etc. I like my motorcycle and two-seater carry. Don't want to be effectively a full-time carer for the next 18 years. Huge expense. I like the child-free home. Kids' songs and shows on the TV. Dirty nappies. Toys. Crying, etc. Not for me. Do not feel any social or biological need to reproduce. Doing my bit for the environment by not creating another human being. Basically everything that was already posted here. Freedom. Time. Money. Selfishness. Whatever. I get to do all of that and do it shamelessly because I don't have anyone to worry about. Want to spend $5,000 on a watch? No problem. Want to take a camping trip to some random place with friends only having 3 hours notice? Also no problem. Feel like moving to a new state because you got a better job offer or you're just bored? Why not? Expensive and time-consuming. I'm too selfish to give up my life for a kid. It's the most unappealing lifestyle I can imagine. Everything about it looks awful. From pregnancy to childbirth and then cleaning up shit and not sleeping for years. Crying babies and having to take care of a helpless little thing. And kids are so irritating. And the money and time, and you can't live your life for yourself anymore. I honestly don't know why anyone would want to have kids. I just don't have that primal urge to procreate that some people do. I don't see an upside. The real question is, why do people want to have kids? Can never figure that one out. Too much responsibility and not enough to sustain it.